And it is the coolest thing to see people knit something that came out of your brain. It is the coolest thing. Hi there, knitters. Welcome back to the Knitting with a Capital K podcast. My name is Bethany. If you're new, thanks so much for tuning in. If you are old, thank you so much for sticking with me. I have not been posting as much as normal, or even as much as I would want to, because my family has gone through a loss. My husband lost his father right before Christmas, and so we went up to Indiana to grieve with family and take care of some, just arrangements and things for that. But we are back now in Kentucky at Fort Campbell. That's where we live. And I was knitting through that whole time, brought a bunch of projects with me because I didn't know how long we were going to be there, and wanted to be able to do something comforting while I could. And got some things done while I was there, so that's nice. The first thing that I finished was a couple of Christmas gifts. I got a couple of Christmas socks done. One was for my mother. She always asks for peace, love, and socks for Christmas, and so I got her socks done. I didn't get the duplicate stitch for the peace and love on the toes done, but I am sure I'll have another chance to do that next time. I did it in the Happy Feet colorway. The Happy Feet yarn in colorway 6. I couldn't remember the yarn last time because it doesn't have a name. It's just a number. It's 6. And I just have like this littlest bit left of it because I got it cranked into a sock tube. So I was actually able to get 4 socks out of it. I did contrasting heels and toes for my mom for Christmas, and then I did just contrasting heels for the next set because I had more of the yarn from the sock crank left over. And my little sister, who is also a knitter, I told her, I said I wanted to wear these socks, but they're too big. They're too, the circumference is too wide. And so my sister, she goes, "Oh great, I have little refrigerator feet. They'll be perfect." She tried them on and they fit her really well. I never would call her feet that, but she's so cute. So got 2 of those pairs of socks done while I was there. I also got a pair of socks for my sister-in-law done. I didn't think I'd be able to see her or give them to her by Christmas because she lives out in California. We live here in Fort Campbell, and but we both ended up being able to go to our father-in-law's arrangements, and I did those in the Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo pattern by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. If you don't follow the Bakery Bears, they're the cutest people ever. You should just follow them. They're fantastic. I did the main color in this Sweet Georgia sock base in the colorway Summer Skin. This always shows up brighter than it is on camera. I don't know why. That, like the lighter shades that you see past the first layer there, that's actually truer to the color. It's this pale blue. It's really, really pretty. It comes up a lot brighter on camera for some reason. I've messed with the lighting a few times to try and get it to show the right color, and it didn't work. So that technology is beyond me, but that was the main color. And then this Buckle My Shoes mini from Knitted Wit was the contrast heels and toes. They were her gift because she likes Cinderella, and so I thought those would be perfect for her, and that just went really well. I got them done Christmas Day actually and just finished them and then handed them to her. I didn't block them or anything. And it was really cute because throughout the time I was in Indiana, I saw her wearing those socks over like other socks. She was so cold. She was just wearing double socks all the time, and the Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo socks were on the top. And I thought, that's real sweet, but I bet if you put the Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo socks on the inside and then put another pair of socks on, that actually might be warmer since they're wool, but I don't know, maybe not. And then my mom wore hers a couple times while I was there, and it's just so fun to see people wear the things that you knit them. It's just fabulous. In fact, my sister sent a picture of the bunny cowl that I knit for my nephew months ago, because it's finally pretty cold over in Ohio, and it's just adorable. So yeah, so those were, oh, and one more I'm wearing, I almost forgot. This is my second Musselburgh. Obviously, I'm American and I don't say it very well, but I want to try and say it well. I have been saying Musselburgh, but then I've been hearing some Irish knitters say that's how you say it, is Musselburgh. Burrow? It's embarrassing, but that's how you're supposed to say it. So it's embarrassing that I can't seem to say it right. I'll keep practicing. I had only read it first, and so I was calling it the Musselburgh. And of course, as with a lot of things, if you only read them without hearing them, who knows if you're saying them correctly. So this is fashioned after a World War II fatigue cap. So you knit it like this, and you can tuck it under your collar of your coat, you know, if you were going out, button it up and be cozy, or you can fold it as a double folded hat. I wanted to knit this to the pattern length, and I ended up not doing that by mistake. Actually, I looked at the length that it was supposed to be for the smallest size, so like probably the baby hat, or maybe it was the adult small instead of the adult, I don't know, because the child's large and the adult small are the same size. And I didn't end up doing that because I looked at the wrong number for mine. So you should be able to fold it again and have it look like a regular hat on your head, and still like go over your ears. Mine won't go over my ears if I fold it that way. I don't have enough for it, but I can fold the top and do that business, and I still think it looks cute that way. Or I can do it I want to say the trendy way. It's kind of an older way of wearing a hat, I think, where it's like this, where it's not necessarily over your ears. It's more like a watch cap type of style. And I don't often wear it like this. I don't ever wear it like this unless I'm showing people different ways you can wear it. I almost always wear it the slouchy way because I just like the way that looks on my face shape. Yeah, that's how I knit it. I would have knit it longer, but I made a mistake. So I used this base here. Oh my goodness, that color isn't coming up correctly at all now. Hang on guys, hang on. I was trying to fix the blue one and it didn't work anyway. So we'll just go back to our regularly scheduled programming here. There we go, that's better. That's exactly what that looks like. I don't know why the blue yarn doesn't show up right. I don't know. So this is NUA Sport by StolenStitches.com. It's yarn by Carol Feller. It is 60% merino wool, 20% yak, and 20% linen. And it is just so squishy and so nice. It's so great. I love it so much. On the inside, I held one strand of this with one strand of the Surrey alpaca in the colorway moss. And then on the outside, I held this double. So it has a tighter, it's a tighter gauge on the outside. This one fits me so much better than the first one that I knit. I'm so glad that I did it again. I'm knitting a third one for my friend. Oh no, it's on the bed. Just a second. Okay, I'm knitting a third one for my friend, but I don't think I've done the increases correctly because it doesn't look big enough. You see how it doesn't look big enough to me. She and I have the same circumference head, which is really nice because I can just like kind of figure out if I need to do more. So I think I'm gonna add a few more increases here. Isn't this looking so nice and marly? I love it. I'm putting this yarn, which is a DK weight, it's called Scout, in the colorway, what is it? Mulberry Heather. And it's very pretty by itself. In fact, as I've been knitting with it, I'm like, oh, I want to make something just with the mulberry yarn because it's very pretty. And then I'm pairing it with this red here, and it's just coming out so cute. I like it so much. The whole thing isn't going to be red. I'm probably going to put a few gold stripes in there and do the outside in just black. These are some barber cords I got in my Knit and Living 12 Days of Christmas Knitting Notions package, and they're just really nice. I've never had these before, and I just really like them. I have six of them now, which is really great since you can reuse them and everything. I don't think I'm gonna need to buy any more for a long time. Okay, so this one I think I need to do some more increases on. That's why I put it on the barber cord, because it was on a smaller cable and I was having trouble figuring out if it was right or not, and it's not. So I'm going to put a few more increases here. I have a feeling she's either going to do the watch cap style or the slouchy style. I don't think she'll do it, you know, like just a one fold thing. I was gonna say 10 years younger than me, but she's more than 10 years younger than me. So she's a lot hipper than I am. And, but when I told her about how much I love this hat and even the hat before, and told her it was like a hug for your head, and I was like, would you like one? And she said, yes, I would love one. So it's really, really nice. But I think that'll be the end of the Musselburghs for me. 3, I think, does it for me. I have been watching Maddie and Kristen of the We Share Needles podcast, and they've made so many. Oh my goodness, so many. It's very nice. It's very nice that they've made so many. But I have these notebooks now, and I'm trying to keep track of my notes here to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, yeah. So the only other finished object that I want to show you is my own sock knitting design. Let me say that again. It's my own sock knitting design. It's so exciting, y'all. Here we go. Where is it? Okay, so this is, let me get these out. This is the Tread Heavy Sock by me. This is it. You can see the little reinforced parts on the toes and the heels there, all the way down. So when I knit my sister her first pair of socks, I said, hey, make sure to give me some notes, because since you like knit socks, I'd like them to fit you better every time that I knit you some. And I've told that to my brother and my mom, anyone who's received socks from me that I know appreciates them. I say, give me some notes on the fit, that way it'll fit you better next time. So when we were talking about it, I had done her I have partridge heel, I believe, on the Hermione Everyday socks. And she said, why is it like that back there? And I said, well, it's for the friction of your shoe. If you decide to wear it in your shoe, then it won't wear down as fast because it has two layers really in there. And she said, oh, well, that makes sense. But I would really like that on the bottom of the foot because honestly, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and so if I'm wearing my cozy socks, I'm usually wearing them in my house. And I was like, yeah, of course, yeah, that would make more sense. So I looked and I looked and I looked for instructions on how to do that, and I couldn't find them anywhere. And I saw a video of a lady showing socks that she had made, and she did a slip stitch panel on the ball of the foot. And I looked at all of her stuff to try and find instructions on how she did that, and they weren't there, which, you know, that part wouldn't be so hard. But I just thought, oh, come on, there has to be someone else who's thought of this. And maybe they have, but they haven't written it down. So I did. I wrote it down, and this is my tread heavy sock. It is going to be released at the end of January. I'm very excited. It's in the middle of testing right now. One of my testers has already finished one of their socks. Another one is finishing one today, I think. She's at the toe today. And it is the coolest thing to see people knit something that came out of your brain. It is the coolest thing. It's just really nice. And so this was my first draft. You can see I just did kind of a panel there, and this turned out okay, but look at the top of that sock. Like it is straight there. So I decided to have that curve more because there was too much fabric on the top here. This turn wasn't severe enough. And then I decided to just continue that all the way down the toe, because when I was showing it to my husband, he said that actually down here, maybe he grips his toes when he walks, I don't know, but down here is where a lot of the wear on his socks happens. So this is a complete sock design, and I wrote it up and I put it out there for testing. It'll be released at the end of January. I'm hoping that I can release it on Ravelry. I've been having a little bit of an issue trying to figure out how to do that, to connect to my Ravelry store. I don't know. I've not done it before. So yeah, I tried to do it and it didn't work. So I emailed someone and hopefully they will email me back. But there are lots of ways to publish a pattern outside of Ravelry, and I plan on publishing it outside of Ravelry anyway, because I know that not everybody has access to Ravelry, and some people just don't use it out of principle. So I'd like it to be available for everyone. And yeah, so here we go. The tread heavy sock. I'm actually going to be tearing this back and doing it this way. This yarn is Knitting Niqabi yarn that I was gifted from Kelsey for, we did a yarn exchange. We were both in a yarn exchange. So I sent her yarn and she sent me yarn, and she naturally dyes non-superwash yarn, and it's the yummiest thing. Oh my goodness, it's so great. You know when the pattern and the yarn are just like coming together and joining forces, and it's just the best thing ever. So look at that. Isn't that great? Oh, so great. Love it. And I balled this up before I left on my trip, and usually I cake it up and I do my socks 2 at a time. But I'm glad I didn't do this design 2 at a time, because then I probably would have been ripping both of them back instead of making adjustments with the second one. So yeah, so there we go. Keep your eye out at the end of January. I'll be sure to post it on Instagram, and I'll probably do with my next podcast episode, I'll be sure to let you know that it's been released and put a link here and everything. It's just so exciting. Ooh, so exciting. And they are super, super cozy. So I'm excited to rip this one back and get them both exactly right for, because this one's also a little bit too long for my foot. I got a little too excited. I got a little too excited about this, just knitting the sock, and I knit it too long. So yeah, there we go. That is my last finished object. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was probably the most exciting part. So if you dip out now, I totally understand. No, I'm kidding. We'll keep talking about other things. It's okay. Okay, so whips. I have a few whips going on here. Now, I'm going to show you this pumpkin spice sock, not because I've gotten a ton done, but because I've gotten some done. I am halfway through this leg now, guys. Halfway. I know. Aren't you surprised that I worked on it at all when I had such exciting things to do with that other sock? My own design, you know. But I did sit down yesterday and try and put some work into this one just so that I can have matching socks at some point. At some point, I'll have matching socks. This is why I normally do them 2 at a time now, guys. Because then they're done. And I don't know if they are faster that way. They might just take the same time. They probably are faster that way because I am not as mopey about it. Yeah, probably. Probably that's how it is. So I've got more to go. Once I reach the heel, I feel like I fly with socks. But for some reason, the leg is always like, oh, as you can see, because the leg of my tread heavy socks is like 10 rows. That's it. 10 rows. So, yeah. One of the things that I got for Christmas was some yarn. So my sister-in-law and I had each other for the gift exchange, and this is Forage Fiber Co. yarn. It's wonderful. It's a non-superwash Highland Zebra DK. So it's called Fern number 2 is the colorway. And the zebra DK part is that, of course, that black is striped in there for different places. So I'm making a flax for my little son. He is turning 2 next month. Oh. And every time I've tried this on him, he has said, get it off, get it off. So I don't know if he will even want it when it's done, but it will keep him warm. And I have this much left. I have another skein of it that was delivered to my mom's house because I thought I would still be there when it got there, but I wasn't. We left a couple days before it got there, which was my fault. I should have known just to send it here because I wouldn't have been done with this by the time we got home, and now we're home and now I don't have it. So, but my mom is really sweet and sends me anything that's mistakenly sent to their house anyway. So I did a provisional cast on for this neck because my son has a huge noggin. And I actually made some notes. I tried to, look at this. Look at that. I printed that out. I really like these notebooks. I tried to keep track. So I did a 74 stitch count just with a regular cast on there, like a knitted cast on, but it was too small and would not go over his head. So I frogged it and I added a couple stitches at 76, and then I tried to do kind of this faux tubular cast on, but the faux tubular cast on is not stretchy at all. The real tubular cast on, which I did later for a different sweater, is pretty stretchy and probably would have worked had I done the real thing, but I was intimidated by the tubular cast on at that point, so I didn't do it. So then I put an 82, I did 82 stitches for a provisional cast on, and of course with the provisional it's a double thick cast on there, and because the 4 to 6 year size has you cast on, I believe, 74 stitches, and then it has you increase 8 in the first round. I just didn't do the first increase round at all. I just knit that. I forgot to change to a 5mm needle. You're supposed to start out with your 4mm, and the Flax is a free pattern, by the way, so I don't feel bad about just talking through all the details about it. You're supposed to start with 4mm here and then switch to 5mm after the collar. I got all the way down here before I realized I had forgotten to change needles. So I contemplated ripping back a few times. I contemplated it, but I don't think I will. Because first of all, I already had to. The last thing that I want to tell you about the modifications is I did do the short rows. There's a short row PDF that comes with the Flax sweater pattern, and it'll tell you when you can like refer to that. I did do that because I like it when the back fits better. I like it when it comes up a little bit. And so I did do the short rows on the back so that it would be higher back here. I just think it fits better when you include those. I think that shaping is important. And if you don't like short rows, then I don't know what to tell you. It's just part of knitting, I feel like. And there are so many options for short rows. I can think of 3 like right off the top of my head, and there must be more than what I know of. So it's totally worth it in my head. It's like an hour tops of you making sure this fits better. So yeah, totally worth it to me. I have the sleeves on some more barber cords, which is nice. And because I forgot to change the needle size, and probably because this is a DK weight yarn and this is graded for a worsted weight yarn, I did not think about that as I was putting it together. I actually didn't notice that the yarn said DK on it. I was trying to figure out if it was DK or worsted, and so I put in like, what is 246 yards to 100 grams? What kind of weight is that? Because I know you can figure out what it is with wraps per inch, but I didn't do that for some reason. I just didn't do that. The last modification is that I added 10 rows after the short rows. After the short rows, you're supposed to just join the body, separate the sleeves, and it wasn't long enough yet, so I added about 10 more rows so that the sleeves wouldn't be like super tight under his little underarms. And we'll see if I do any more modifications, but at that point, you know, it's just length of the sleeves and length of the body, so I don't think there'll be much more modifying necessary for this one. I've been knitting away on I was knitting away on this on my trip, and I absolutely love the way that the zebra yarn knits up. I think it's just really a cool thing. And my little boy's favorite color is green. He just always recognizes green. Maybe it's the one he can recognize the best. Maybe it's not his favorite color, but he's always talking about green stuff. So it's gonna be super cute, I think, when it's done. And it is non-superwash, so I highly expect at some point that my husband may throw it in the dryer and it will be a tragedy. But I think it's totally worth knitting to keep him warm. This is the time of year in the Midwest where it gets cold. January and February is when it's surprisingly cold. Lots of people expect it to be like Christmas time. This is when, you know, things get way colder, and it sometimes it doesn't even snow for Christmas in the Midwest. So that's just that. I have to tighten these on the interchangeables. I rarely put the T-pins in and tighten them all the way, and I just need to because they keep untwisting. I need to also put this in a project bag because it's just been kind of floating around in my duffel bag with my other stuff while I was on the trip, and now I think it deserves its own little project bag. So, last 2 whips. Here we go. Okay, this is the one I've been enjoying so much, guys. I've been enjoying this so much. This is the DRK Everyday Sweater by Andrea Mowry. it looks like honey to me, the way that this is knitting up. Isn't that so nice? And guys, it's so soft. Oh, it's so soft. So nice. Okay, and I have these little stitch markers here. This one is a progress keeper because I need to knit, I think, like 8 or 9 more rows of stockinette before my next yoke increase. And I put a little snowflake there at my beginning of round because I have some goals, which I have another video about for this year. And one of them is to accomplish some things for the winter. I don't really do whole year goals most of the time. I have one this year, but I don't have a bunch of 2022 resolutions. I usually have a goal for the season, and I find that to be more manageable for me. Yeah, I don't forget about it, and I can focus on it for that long, and yeah. So I just finished the neck shaping on the back and did the first yoke increase. And it's gonna be so nice, guys. It's gonna be so nice to wear. Oh my goodness. I already just want to keep it on my body because it is so nice. I'm trying to remember if I put the ball bands in here for the yarn. I didn't. Just a second. Okay, so this is the kettle dyed Huasco sock base here, and look at those tones in there. Isn't that so pretty? Oh, it's so pretty. So this is a sport weight sweater. This is a 75-25 blend fingering weight blend, and it's in the colorway ochre. So there's that. And then I'm pairing it together with alpaca. Of course, you guys know I love doing that. I know some people are mohair people. I'm an alpaca person. I think it's so nice. I think it's so nice. And this is in the colorway rust. So those together. Yeah, they're just, the fabric that it's coming up with reminds me so much of like honeycomb, like the way it looks in the hive where it like this lighter thing and the honey is just like dripping. Oh, I love it. I did do the tubular cast on like Andrea Mowry suggests for you to do, which I will say it's the first time I've done a real tubular cast on, and heavens above, it was a little intense. First of all, because I've never done that before, and it is very twisty on a circular needle, but if you know how to read your stitches, then you should be able to figure it out. You should be able to know like which side you're working on of the stitch and everything. And it does look beautiful. I think after I block it, it's going to be even better. And it just rolls right off there, and it's super stretchy. It's really nice. And I think it's going to feel really nice too. It was a little intense because I was trying to get it right and do the setup rounds and everything. Well, one of my kids needed help in the bathroom and the other one woke up from a nap. The end was a little bit intense, not because of the tubular cast on necessarily, even though it did feel like that was why. It was probably because my children needed some help while I was learning a new skill. And I told them a few times while I was learning it, I said, no, please, just a second. I'm learning something new. Can you give me just a second? And they were all just like, okay. The color is growing on me. I wasn't sure about it at first. It's definitely growing on me. And how soft it is. Oh my heavens, how soft it is. I'm so excited to be able to wear this on my body. So excited to be able to wear it. Obviously, I've just started it. My January goals are to finish my friend's Musselburgh and to cast on 2 sweaters for myself. So I've already cast one on, obviously, and then this is the last whip, and it is my second sweater that I've cast on. This is called By the Campfire, and it's constructed in kind of a different way. I want to show you the picture of what it looks like on like the construction part. So I won't be giving anything away for the pattern, but you do it like this. Like you cast on this business, and then you work the body, and then you work the sleeve, and then you put the two halves together, and then you steek the bottom. Then you steek the bottom. I'm going to be steeking something, guys. I'm so excited. So I just made it through the first colorwork chart, and this part is not very high contrast. You can see here my green and my black. It's actually kind of hard to see the colorwork because the green is so dark. I'm okay with that for right now. In fact, in the daylight, it looks really nice, I think. Last night when I was knitting it, I was like, oh dear, I don't know if this is the right yarn choice. But I think once this is added in as the third color, it's gonna be great. I am using Let Lopi as 2 of my 3 colors. This one is called Galaxy. The black is called Galaxy, and I really like it because of all those different flecks of color in there. You can see why it's called that. And this one I believe is called Light Ash. I believe. It doesn't actually say on it. Weird. But I believe this is called Light Ash or Light Ash Heather. And I got a gray one on purpose because I didn't want it to be like bleh contrast. But it'll be enough. It'll be really good. So here is, look at that. Isn't that so nice? Yeah. So this is my first colorwork garment. And honestly, my first colorwork, like anything that's not a sock, that's like not 1x1 colorwork, you know? And it has taken an immense amount of focus, but it has been so worth it. I think I'm gonna really like the finished product, and I am working on diligence in my knitting capacity. This year for 2022, I know that I'm going to have to, I'm gonna have to just really stick with some things to get the products that I want at the end of it, which is fine. That's totally fine to be able to do. I actually have another video about some gifts that I got for Christmas and my 2022 winter goals. So if you were interested in acquisitions or things that which are the gifts that I acquired this Christmas, go ahead and check out that video. It's going to be super fun to show you all the things, especially the things my husband made me. Oh my word. And yeah, that is all the whips and the finished objects for now. I can't wait to meet you soon and show you more things and be able to show you where to purchase my sock pattern. It's gonna be so great. I also have here these are my little mindfulness tricks, right? I had a snowflake on that other one, and I have a little snow-covered house here on this one to remind myself that it is winter and that it's okay for me to take all of winter to make these sweaters. That's okay. I want to be able to wear them in the winter, but I don't know if that's going to happen, and that's all right. And if I get them out next fall, I'll be so happy to have them. And yeah, that's where I'm at around those whips. I have knit night to attend this evening. I'm so excited to go back to my yarn store. Guys, I am so blessed. I'm sorry, there's a helicopter. We are on a military base. I'm so excited to see my yarny friends tonight. I've missed them so much. I've missed just like knitting being the main topic of conversation, and yeah, I'm so excited to go tonight. So I guess need to pick which whip I'm gonna bring with me. Decisions. But I'll see you next time, and happy knitting.